Hey class, today we are going to try this new thing where I actually read something to you over the computer. Today we're going to try it out with our new social studies topic. We just finished Native Americans, so the next people coming to Texas are Spanish and French explorers. So these are people that come from either Spain or France. Now, as you can see at the top of our document right here, this is between the time of 1440 and 1700. So we have a big length of time right here. Hopefully later we will get a chance to make a timeline together. But for now, we're just going to go over the basics, a real quick reading here where we can talk about just the real basic facts about the Spanish and French explorers that came to Texas in the very beginning. So make sure you're following along, because once we finish this reading, you're going to have questions to answer on a Google Doc in Google Classroom. So make sure you're paying attention. Here we go. This first section is called Explorers in the Americas. At the time Christopher Columbus was traveling to the Americas to claim land for Spain, other Spanish explorers began their own journeys to the Americas in hopes of finding gold, claiming land, gaining knowledge, and spreading their Christianity religion. So right off the bat, we already know a few reasons why the Spanish explorers came to Texas: gold, land, knowledge, and to spread Christianity. The next little section is called The Spanish Reach Texas. And I'm sorry, you guys, in advance, I cannot pronounce these names very well. Hopefully one of our Spanish-speaking friends can help me out here. But here we go anyways. In 1528, Panfilo de Narvaez led an expedition to what is known today as Florida. An expedition is a journey made for a special reason. The reason for Narvaez's expedition was to claim all the lands along the Gulf of Mexico for Spain. So remember, you guys, the Gulf of Mexico, all of that area is in the coastal plains. So Narvaez pretty much wanted to claim all the land in the coastal plains region. When Narvaez and his crew became stranded on the coast of Florida, they decided that they would build rafts and sail to Mexico. However, a storm caused only 4 of the crew members to actually reach Mexico: Alvar Nunes, Cabeza de Vaca, Alonso, I don't know how to say that one, y'all, Castillo Maldonado, and Andres Dorantes de Carranza. Cabeza de Vaca soon became separated from the others. So this is a big name guy. You need to remember Cabeza de Vaca. He is a really important person, so remember his name. Cabeza de Vaca soon became separated from the others. He lived for 3 years in the area of what is now Galveston and learned much about the land and native people of Texas. Those people are the Caddos, Karankawas, Comanches, Apaches, and Humanos. The legends Cabeza de Vaca learned about Cibola, a group of Native American cities made of gold, made the Spanish eager to explore the area. So here we get into a little more detail. We're introduced to Cabeza de Vaca, who is a huge character for us in the Spanish Texas time. And we also know that their main reasons for coming were to claim all the land in the coastal region, and because they heard that there were entire cities made of gold. This area was supposed to be called Cibola. All right, let's move on to the French in Texas. In 1684, a French explorer named Sieur La Salle led an expedition from France to the Americas. La Salle wanted to claim land and start a colony near the Mississippi River. However, he sailed past the river by mistake and landed in Texas in what is today Corpus Christi. He and the settlers built their colony on the spot where they landed. They called their colony Fort Lewis. Unfortunately, crops did not grow well there, and the colony ran out of food. La Salle and a small group left Fort St. Louis to find the Mississippi. Along the way, some of the members of the group blamed La Salle for their hard times and killed him. You heard that right, you guys. The French people actually killed La Salle because they blamed him for the fact that crops weren't growing well. They ran out of food. He ended up, he sailed past where their destination was in the first place. So his own people actually killed him. When the news reached the Spanish in Mexico, they sent soldiers to force the French to leave. Spanish leaders did not want the lands in Texas to be settled by other countries. So the Spanish kind of took over here, you guys. They did not want the French claiming land and getting things for themselves. The Spanish wanted it all for themselves. All right, at the bottom here, at the very last page, we have a few pictures. These two ships is called a caravel, or the ship that explorers used to travel to the Americas. So you can tell it's really, really big, really extravagant, really beautiful, a lot of really huge sails. This man on the left is Cabeza de Vaca. So Cabeza de Vaca was a really important Spanish explorer. And we also have Sieur de la Salle, who's our French explorer. And lastly, we have Cabeza de Vaca's route. So he was on sea traveling between 1527 and 1536. So you can see the bottom right, he started over here on the island called the Dominican Republic. Then he went to Cuba, then Florida, and finally he ended up in Galveston, right on the Texas coast, right here on the Gulf Coast. From Galveston, he ended up going and staying in Mexico. So from here, you're going to open up the Newcomers questions. So go ahead and close out of this, and you will go back to Google Classroom. Click on Newcomers to Texas questions right here. You'll click it. It'll bring up this little area right here, and you'll have a space to type in your name, and you'll actually type in blah, 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 your answers right there underneath the question. So fill this out. When you finish all the questions, you will exit out of it. It automatically saves, so don't worry. You'll exit out of it. Click on this. Oops, my bad. Click on the actual assignment. Mine looks different from yours because I have the teacher version. But when you actually click on the link right here, Early Explorers of Texas, it'll bring you to a new page, and all you have to do is click Submit or Turn In, and it will turn in your work for you. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Write them down so that way you can ask me when stations are over. Here we go.